What's up, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Scotty Taylor Jr. Success Money Mindset Podcast, the number one place to be if you're a financial advisor or insurance agent and you want to grow and scale your business to $25,000, $30,000, $35,000, $50,000 a month and beyond. And you want to do it without the whole hustle culture, work harder, push yourself, without the discipline. You want to do it the more strategic way. You want to work smarter, not just harder. And the topic I want to share with you today is all about the emotional roller coaster. And what I mean by the emotional roller coaster, I'm sure some of you are listening and you're like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I mean the roller coaster of emotions in this business. The roller coaster of emotions, both financially and emotionally, because this is a very challenging business that we're in. Let's just lay that out there. Let's just be completely transparent with that. This is a hard business. We hear no way more than we hear yes. That is the nature of the career. And the roller coaster that comes along with this career that some of us experience can be really debilitating. And what I mean by the roller coaster is, let's say you have 1 month where you're working really hard, you're doing all the things, you're seeing lots of people, you're really enjoying yourself, you're seeing people and people are saying yes. And then the following month you have a great production month, right? Maybe you do a bunch of insurances, you do a bunch of investments, annuities, whatever it is that you focus in on, and you have a good month income-wise, and so that feels good. And so you're at this high emotionally. And then next month, you were so focused on closing that business that you didn't really refill your pipeline. And so now all of a sudden you have a dip, right? So you're literally on this roller coaster of 1 good month, 2 not so good months, 1 good month, 1 not so good month, 1 good month, right? Kind of like this up and down. And that can be very challenging. I've experienced that in my career. It can be very challenging financially, first and foremost, because if you have bills to pay, a family, a mortgage, rent, staffing expenses, financially it can feel stressful, right? Even if you have enough money in savings to last you 6 or 12 months, even if you have that buffer, it can still feel stressful to make $25,000 1 month and then $5,000 the next month, right? Because that inconsistency can create a lot of challenges to plan out your investing in your business and the saving. Wouldn't it be nice if you were just making $25,000 per month consistently, right? Because then you could be a little bit more strategic and plan a little bit better. The other area that's challenging is the emotional component of it, where you have a good month and you feel like you're on top of the world and you're like, this is why I'm doing this career. This feels really good. I'm enjoying helping people. I'm enjoying serving people. I'm enjoying the money that's coming in. When we're busy and we're serving people and helping people, it feels good, right? If you're in this career, it's probably because you want to help people. I would say 95% of you are in this career because you are servant-led, you have a servant's heart, meaning you want to help people, you want to serve people, you want people to feel empowered in their finances. And so it feels good when things are going well, right? When you're seeing people, helping people. But then when you have a month where you're getting a lot of no's, or people are not moving forward, or they're not giving you referrals, then it can feel like crap. And that up and down emotional roller coaster is sometimes even more challenging than the financial roller coaster, right? You feel good when things are going well and you feel like crap when things are not going well. So I want to share a couple things that you can do in your business to get off this roller coaster. So first and foremost, let's identify if you are on the roller coaster, either emotionally or financially. So look at your numbers. Go back, look at your numbers and identify. And you might know right now, you might be like, yes, this is me. And I know that this is a lot of you because I talk to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of you on a yearly basis. So I already know that most of you are experiencing things like this. Not everybody, but most of us. And so is it financial? Is it emotional? So first, take a quick look. I want you to really get clear on the data. Get clear on the data itself. Does the data show that you're having a good month and then 2 not so good months? Or is the data more consistent? And then you can tap in emotionally. Do I feel those ebbs and flows? Do I feel those ebbs and flows? Step number 1, right? We first need to identify, am I on the roller coaster? Because sometimes the identification of it and the awareness that is a thing is the first step, because you may be experiencing these highs and lows and thinking that it's normal. And guess what? It's It might be normal, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be your reality. Just because something is normal doesn't mean it's good for you. Just because other people are, smoking cigarettes doesn't mean that you're gonna suddenly start picking up cigarettes, right? Like, that's not good for you. Just because other people are doing it just because it's normal, it doesn't mean it's something that you're gonna necessarily do. So first and foremost, let's identify if it's normal. Now, I wanna share with you specifically what you can do to alleviate and get off this roller coaster. Let's start with the tactical. I'm gonna dig into the tactical first. The reality is that the majority of us that are on this financial roller coaster, right, these ups and downs, we do so because of one thing. There's one reason that I've experienced in my financial planning business as to why I got on the roller coaster, right? So like, for example, in December 2019, I did $95,000 of insurance premium. I made $60,000 in that month. And then January, February, March of 2020 were some of the worst months of my entire career. So I had this huge high, 3 terrible lows. And so if you are feeling the financial up and down, the one thing that is very likely happening is that you're focused on the outcomes, not the activities. I'm gonna repeat that. You're focused on the outcomes and not the activities. So what that looks like is you have, let's say, a period of time when you're not making that much money. So let's say, for example, it's August and you're like, okay, August was not a great month for me. Didn't make a ton of money, didn't have a ton of clients. I'm gonna go all in. Like I gotta pick this up. And so there's a drive, right? There's a motivating factor. There's like this is the moment where I'm like, I'm going all in. I'm gonna make this happen for me. September, October, November, they're gonna be amazing months. So that was in August. September, you spend the entire month really pushing. You ask for referrals in every single meeting. You're cold calling, you're cold emailing, you're doing LinkedIn, like you're doing all the things, right? You're throwing spaghetti at the wall, networking events, speaking engagements, everything. You're working 5, 6, 7 days a week, right? You're giving it your all, intentionality wise, and then also energy wise. And September goes and half of October goes, and you spend October working through all the cases that you opened. So let's say you did 25 new intro conversations, right? 25 fact finders, discovery conversations, whatever you call them at your firm. You did 25 of those. And so you spent the majority of October moving those people through the process, right? You were focused on the cases. All right, this person is a $10,000 case. This person has $500,000 in assets. This person I want to get 2 referrals from. Like, you focus on the end result, which was moving them through the process. Because when you do a close meeting with somebody, you want to move them over the finish line, right? You want to get them to the goalpost. It's like running, it's like in football, right? You're running, and you're at the 95-yard line and you just stop and you're like, I think I'm done here. Like, no, you want to bring the people over the goal line. So the last 5 yards, which is moving them to action, right? Getting them to actually take action. And then inevitably, right, when you actually do submit like 5, 10, 15 clients in 1 month, it's a lot of underwriting, it's a lot of investment paperwork, it's a lot of plans, it's a lot of calendar management, it's a lot of case noting. There's a lot of stuff that goes along with that. Right? And so what happens is you focus entirely on the outcome, which is the production or the insurance, whatever it is that you focus on. And because of the shifting of focus to the outcome, all of the activities that you were doing before, prospecting, cold calling, lead generation, LinkedIn, whatever it is that you were focused on, you put by the wayside. You're like, I don't have time for these right now. It's more important that I move these people through the process. And then what happens is October is a great month. You have an amazing month. So August and September, not so great. October, amazing. Then you get into November. All of a sudden you wake up in November and you're like, wait a minute, I have nobody to push through the process. I have no clients in my inventory. My inventory has been cleaned out in October. I moved everybody to action in October. Some people said yes, some people said no, like, cool. I moved everybody through the process in October. I have nobody else to call. And so November, maybe you're tired, maybe you're a little bit burnt out from that experience. And so you're like, all right, I'm gonna take a break and I just need a breather. Like, I'm feeling a little burnt out. So November is not so great of a month. And then you think to yourself, shoot, November wasn't a great month. Then all of a sudden December comes and you're like, I'm gonna make it happen again. And what you did in September is exactly what you do in December. You refocus on prospecting, you work really hard, you do all the things. And then January, the end of January is a great month. And then it happens again in February. And March are really slow months. And then the cycle continues. And so the question is, are you okay with that? Are you okay with these ups and downs? Or would you prefer a different reality? So if you would prefer a different reality, I have a solution for you. I have the answer to how you can create more consistency in your business. And it really all comes down to reshifting your focus to activities. Activities will set you free. The solution to anxiety is action. If you can focus on the activities Every single day, every single week, every single month, you will always have a full pipeline. I recognize that when I say this, you might be thinking, I get it. That makes sense. That makes sense. But I don't think you're really grasping the intensity in which I'm sharing this. And so what I mean by this is when you focus on activities, what you do is you shift your intention. So your intention goes from, I need to do everything in my business, I need to move people through the process, that it's my responsibility, to you shift away from that perspective and you shift to the perspective of, I am the CEO of my business. I am the only person in my business that generates revenue, and therefore it is my number one priority to generate revenue. There is nothing more important than me generating revenue. And how do we generate revenue? With the front end activities. Prospecting, lead generation, getting people on the calendar. Those are money-making activities. So this is not just a tactical shift, right? Because somebody probably told you this before. Maybe they didn't, and maybe this is going to be like a game changer for you. This is going to be a light bulb moment. But you probably already know somewhere inside that you really should be focusing on the activities. But it's challenging when you have a completely full week or a completely full month, when you have all the applications going in, the investments going in, the insurance going in, everything. And the reason why it feels hard to focus on the front end activities is because you stopped prioritizing them. You took on the quadrant. So if we think about the quadrant of the important and urgent matrix, right? So if you think about important being on the x-axis, so very important is over here, not important is here, urgent is up here, not urgent is down here. The important but not urgent are the prospecting activities. Important but not urgent. Moving people when they are submitting their applications, when you want to get paid out on that, that is urgent and important. So what happens is we end up switching back and forth between these two quadrants on the time management matrix. And so we end up living in the important and urgent. So we spend all of our time in stuff that is important, right? Moving people through the process is important. I'm not going to argue that. Of course it's important. But you spend all of your time there at the detriment of the not urgent but important work, which is prospecting, lead generation. If you shifted your perspective and you got into the perspective of, I am a CEO, I am the CEO of my business. That is my responsibility. My responsibility as CEO is to generate revenue. If you took that perspective, you absorbed that, you coded that, you dropped that into your body, and you allowed yourself to fully adopt that belief system that I'm the CEO and my job is to generate revenue, then what happens is when you're going through your day, that priority is the most important priority. It becomes the most important thing. Every single day when I wake up, I think about how can Scotty generate revenue for Scotty Taylor Jr. LLC. I think about serving my clients. I think about creating content. I think about everything. But the number one thing on my mind is how can I generate revenue? Because if I don't set that priority for myself, what happens? I end up checking email. I end up doing busy work, right? So maybe somebody emails in and they're like, hey, this link was broken. I can't access this. And I'm like in there fixing the link. Is that the best use of the CEO's time of his business? The reality is that emails will keep you broke. Emails, tasks, busy work, that will keep you broke. It will keep you busy, but it will keep you broke. So I focus exclusively on what can Scotty do to move the Scotty Taylor Jr. business forward today, this week, this month, this year. And with that focus, all the other stuff falls by the wayside. The priorities are not going to be misaligned for me because I've it coded inside of me that my job is to generate revenue. So when I wake up today, right? So I'm going to give you an example for today. So I had a chiropractor appointment in the morning and it was early and I have calls from 12 to 5. I think I have 7 calls today, 6 or 7 calls today. So I got back home and I have tons of text messages from friends, from clients. I have tons of emails. I haven't checked my email since probably like 7 p.m. last night, 7 p.m. last night. I had a masterclass yesterday, so I have multiple people booking time from that. So I sat down and there was plenty of things I could focus on, plenty of things that I could spend my time and my energy on. But I thought to myself, what is the highest value add activity that Scotty can do for the Scotty Taylor Jr. business? And the thing that came through in this moment was creating content for all of you. This nurtures my audience, right? This portrays me as an authority. I get to talk and share my wisdom. I enjoy doing this. And when in the process, you get to understand a little bit more about me, the way that I think, and determine if working together would make sense for you. This is my key revenue generator. right? People don't necessarily want to work with a coach that they know nothing about. They're like, why should I listen to you? Why should I buy programs from you? What do you have to offer? By sharing this wisdom, I start to knock down those belief systems. So this is my revenue generator. This is what I focused on today. And later today, when my calls are done at like 4 or 5 p.m., whenever they're done, I'll look at my email. I'll check my text messages. I'll do all of that, but not until I focus on revenue generating first. The second area, I mentioned there were two. The second way to get off this roller coaster is the emotional. So the tactical is knowing exactly what to do. Just to recap, the tactical is knowing exactly what to do. That is why inside my Financial Advisor Academy, my coaching program for financial advisors to grow and scale to $25K per month, I put together the $25,000 per month activity spreadsheet. This is literally completely broken down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, exactly what you should be doing every single day to hit 25,000+ per month of production. So I literally tell you exactly what to do, right? Because I know that if I can give you the tools to take action, your revenue will soar. I know that revenue is driven exclusively by front-end activity. And if you're not doing the front-end activity, you're gonna stay stuck, you're gonna stay broke, you're not gonna be in more, you're not gonna progress in your journey if you don't focus on that. So that's the tactical side, right? So the tactical side is, what do I do? Focus on the activities, what I can do every single day to move my business forward, and prioritize them. The second piece is the emotional side. And the emotional side specifically is important to talk about because what happens with some of us, and this is a society thing, right? This is not your fault. I'm not saying that you adopted this belief system. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. But what happens is that we, people in society, are incorrectly taught that our worth is tied to our productivity. And so when I have a good month, so at your firm, I'm guessing you get accolades when you do well. Like, you hit a good month, you do a good number of good new clients, number of like lives, right? Production, assets, whatever it is. There's probably a report somewhere, right? I'm guessing there's a report somewhere. At Northwestern Mutual there was, and there still is, right? They send out reports every single week of people's production numbers. And people start to praise you when you do well. And when you're not doing so well, they're a little bit more quiet. They're not like coming up to you being like, yeah, you're doing a great job, when they don't see the production numbers. So what happens is we humans, we financial advisors, we start to believe that the production or the income or the new clients is what makes us good. It's what makes us worthy. We start to correlate, we start to create a connection between production and feeling good about myself, my self-worth, my self-value, which is, as we talk it out loud, completely bogus. Your worth, innate worth, is not defined by how much production you do. It's easy to say that, but it's a different thing to fully believe it. So here's my exercise and my opportunity for you if, for some reason, you are in the place right now that you are feeling, when I'm busier, I feel better about myself, Scotty. When I do more premium, I feel my emotions skyrocket. When I do really low premium, I feel my emotions in the bottom of the barrel. They're like in the dirt. I feel like crap. If you feel like crap when you do not so great in business and you feel amazing when you do great in business, there's a really high likelihood that you've correlated your success with your value as a person. So what do we do about that? Well, the way that we rewire belief systems is by identifying them, knocking them down, and adopting a new one. So what I mean by that? So if you are sitting here thinking, I really do feel better about myself when I have more meetings on the calendar, when I'm closing more business, you need to ask yourself, okay, is this a belief system that I want to continue to adopt? Is this serving me? And the answer, more likely than not, is gonna be no. Yeah, you're like, I would rather feel stable. I'd rather feel calm, cool, collected, stable, regardless of wherever my income is, right? If I make $30,000 in a month or if I make $5,000 in a month, I wanna feel the same level of, I'm a good person. I want to be motivated, right? I want to be really clear. This doesn't mean that you take away any motivation, but what it does take away is any feelings of worthlessness, hopelessness, despair, feelings that you're like, I'm not doing this right. I suck. I'm terrible at this. I want to remove those feelings. We're not removing any motivation. Like we're not doing a lobotomy and making you personality-less. That's not the point. The point is to be more neutral emotionally when things are going really well in business or things are not going so well, right? Production's really good, production's not so good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna adopt a different belief. And the belief that I like to choose, right, was I like to do two beliefs. Number one, I would write down every single day, I am doing $25,000 per month. I am doing $25,000 per month in my business. Because let's face it, it does feel better when you're making more money. I'm not gonna argue that. It does feel better when you're making more money. So Yes, we want to get to consistent revenue months, right? That's number one. So I would write this mantra down every single day with the number that you want to get to. $25,000 per month, $30,000 per month, $15,000 per month, whatever your next goal is. Not your end goal, your next goal. This next stair step goal. Write that down every day until you hit the goal. I did that every single day. I was at 12,000, 15,000, 18,000, 20,000. Boom, I hit 25,000 for the first time in 2020. Actually, that's not true. 2019, I hit 25,000, but I didn't do it consistently. I started doing it consistently in 2020. So write that down, number one, right? Number two is to really think through what belief system would I rather adopt? What belief system would I rather have in place of this belief system that I have to work really hard in order to feel worthy, that I'm not good enough unless I'm making a whole bunch of money and doing a lot of production? I would like the belief system that I'm doing a great job. Like, I'm doing a great job. I'm consistently seeing more and more progress. I'm consistently seeing more premium, more assets, more flow, more ease. I'm consistently allowing myself more receptivity to all the good stuff out there. And just the acknowledgement and recognition that my emotions have been up and down and I want them to be more steady could be the catalyst for you. You're like, you know what? I'm tired of feeling frustrated. And sometimes it takes an acknowledgement that I'm feeling not so great to actually shift it. It's interesting, but sometimes the feeling is so pervasive that we forget that we have a choice in the matter, that we can start to see things differently. That's what I wanted to share with you today about the roller coaster, the financial and emotional roller coaster. How do you get off of it in business? Well, number one, tactically focus on activities and stop focusing on end outcomes, number one. And paired up with that is creating systems. Right? A prospecting system is what will set you free, because when you have a prospecting system in place, you do not have to put all of the pressure on your shoulders to get people in the door, get people on the calendar, and move them through the process. When you have a system, it's outside of you. Secondarily is emotionally, start to rewire the belief system that the busier I am, the more productive I am, and the better I am. The busier I am, the more value I am. We're gonna start to cross off that belief system, and we're gonna start adopting a new belief system, which is, I'm amazing. Just exactly the way I am. I am making more and more money every single month. I'm enjoying this process. I'm doing a great job. And whatever my bank account shows is not a reflection of my worth. It's just numbers on a computer screen. If you really think about it, it's literally just numbers, beep, 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 boop, in Bank of America, Chase. It's just numbers on a computer screen. It has no bearing on who you are in here, deep inside. I hope this was helpful for you, my friends. If there's any topics you want me to talk about, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram at the Financial Advisor Academy. I'm working on growing my YouTube channel, so I would love a like and a subscribe if you feel inclined to get notified when I release new videos. And if you're interested in exploring working with me in some capacity, in one-on-one or in my academies, you can feel free to book a call with my team. So there's a little assessment that I'll put down below, a couple questions, and you can book a call with one of my team members. And what we'll do on that call is figure out, are you a fit for one of our programs or one of our coaching platforms? And if so, we're gonna direct you in that direction. But this is not a sales call. This is an opportunity for us to understand if we're a fit to work together, and if you're potentially a fit for one-on-one mentorship. Maybe you and I chat, we dig a little bit deeper, and then we go from there. You will not be sold into something that you do not need. That is not our vibe. Our vibe is very much attracting the right people. So if you want to learn more about working with me, about creating systems, about creating consistency, the activities, any of that, then feel free to hit us up, and we would love to chat with you. We would love to have a conversation with you. That's it. That's all I want to share with you today, my friends. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode.